going on, guys? This is The Spiritual Experience, a channel for personal and spiritual growth. And this video is about how to, it's hard to describe in words, but basically how to practice the things that I teach here on this channel easily and quickly. And the first step I'm going to give you now is practice one thing at a time. Don't try too much at once. You can try all these other stuff, but try practicing one thing consistently every day for a week. If you can do that, like a good start would be the how to calm yourself down video, because that's a good video to kind of explain how this stuff works. And the next tip, don't beat yourself up, because a lot of people, they have this idea that they need to get rid of the ego. The ego's bad. Ego's this. Ego's that. You cannot live without the ego. The ego is literally like a part of your mind in a way. Like, it's not your mind. People think that your ego is your mind, but it's not. Your mind is like the mantle for the ego, so to speak. It's the what's the word I'm looking for here? Like the base structure that holds the ego together. You can't get rid of the ego. You can get rid of a lot of it, most of it even, but not all of it. Because if you did that, you wouldn't exist in this human body. You would be a spirit roaming around. Anyways, where was I? Sorry, I got distracted. But like I said, the first thing you do is you practice one thing consistently for a week. You can practice other things, the bird's eye view, unfogging the wisdom glasses. Those things help too. You can practice all those other things, but try to at least practice that one thing consistently for a week. Once you can do that, practice two things consistently for the next week. And so on and so on and so on until you get a good balance. Let me turn this down, it's a little loud. And the next thing I'm going to recommend is do what suits you. Some of the things on here may work for you, they may not. If they work for you, that's great, do them. If they don't work as good, if they don't work, or even if they don't work at all, don't do them. This is because a lot of this stuff is very personal. A lot of times when I see spirituality, I see it as not being so personal. You get like the ideas, but you don't get like the real life experience from teachers. I mean, you do sometimes, but not like I'm doing here, because I'm trying to understand some of the stuff too. I'm not perfect at it. I'm not even close to perfect at it. I'm very good, don't get me wrong, but I'm not perfect. So that's it. The third thing to remember is, like I said before, don't try and get rid of the ego. Balance in all things. That means don't get rid of the ego, but to get rid of the negative parts of the ego. Not all of them. Like I said, if there's like feelings of anger or sadness or whatever, look into what's causing those feelings, and you can do a couple of things. Fix what's causing them. Wait, before I get into that, there are 3 levels of control that you can do something about. One level is the things you can do something about. The second level is the things you kind of can do something about. That is, they're kind of in your control, but not completely. And the third level is things you cannot control. So the best way to deal with things like anger and sadness and things like that, just ask yourself a single question. Can I control this thing? Can I control what's causing this? And if you can't, then focus on dealing with this feeling, In other videos, I'm going to explain how to deal with feelings more effectively, because I'm reading some books that may help, and some philosophies, a philosophy called Stoicism, which is very little known. It's not as known as it should be because it's very wise teachings. So, um, and the fourth one is, don't forget to live in the world. And what I mean by this is when a lot of times when you see these spiritual people, they start living in monasteries and like become monks and almost like renounce material things. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. There really isn't. But most people cannot do that. Most people can't live in a state of constant oneness with everything. In another video, I'll show you how to live in constant oneness with everything in real life without going to a monastery or a ashram or whatever they call them these days. So that's another video coming up. So that's one thing. Live in the world, or as Conversations with God calls it, live in this world but not of it. Basically, live in this world but don't be affected by it, or try not to be affected by it at all. Like I said, check out my video, How to Calm Yourself Down in Seconds. That's a good way to not be affected by things. And I guess the other thing is it's a hard one to kind of put into words, but don't care. But the other thing I would explain too is how to use your experience to refine some of these techniques. Because I know a lot of these things are broad, like make meaning or create reality with imagination. So basically what I mean by refine these techniques for your experience, basically, say I'm talking about like make a meaning out of something. If you want something, think about what inspires you to do that thing, and make that the focus of why you're doing something. If you make an emotion the focus of why you do something, it'll stick in your mind more than it would if you just say, I have to do this because it's good to get rid of my ego, or good to be healthy, or it's because it's good for me, or something like that. So, anyways, I might talk more on this subject later, because it is kind of complicated subject to kind of go over, but I covered the basics here. So, anyways, if you like this video, please like and subscribe and click that notification bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video, and share it so that other people can get the benefits from this too. So, anyways, this is a spiritual experience, and I'm signing off for now. I'll see you on the next video.